What's up, my good people of the internet? Dan Tortora here with you, celebrating a very amazing piece of our history here with Wake Up Call, with Superpowered Pop, Comic Book Trails, Do Diz with Dan, and Two Mics No Filter, as well as everything that we do here at Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. And as you can see, I'm proudly sporting our t-shirt here this morning. We got the headsets here. We got the headset with the microphones. So I love this here, the headphones and the microphone right here hanging out. A very simple logo for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media that showcases very easily everything that we do, because all of our broadcasts come under this, right? The headphones and the microphones. So make sure that you go out to our website today and support us by going ahead and getting something special for yourself or getting a gift for somebody else up on our merchandising website. We have so many awesome things on the website, and very great, opportunity for you to connect with us in so many different ways. So you can go to the site by going to ecspecialties.tuosystems.com/stores/mic'd up geared up. And what I'm going to do so that you can have this very easily for you is I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the feed. So you could buy our merch today to celebrate our 11-year anniversary for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. So make sure that you go ahead and do that today. We just put it in the feed, so you could feel free to do that here today and to get something nice, because we definitely appreciate anybody that goes out and does it. We appreciate those that already have. We thank you so much for being so supportive of our company. And, I love it. I love everything that we get to do and all the opportunities that we have to reach out in a really special and unique way. And we've worked very diligently for a long time now to be able to bring you very diligent to be able to bring you our site where you could go ahead and buy merchandise for our shows, as well as to, support the company as a whole, and to, get golf towels and duffel bags and dog clothes. I mean, there's so many different things that you can get from our merchandising site. So I saved it on our social media, sent it out on our social media, and sent it out to you here this morning on our feeds. So make sure that you do that. It's on all of our live feeds on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So the link has been shared everywhere for you to go ahead and grab some awesome merch from everything that we're doing here with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as well as with Superpowered Pop, Comic Book Trails, Two Mics No Filter, Do Diz with Dan. You can get all of those merchandise pieces right now by going out to our site. So make sure you do that through East Coast Specialties. Much love and much appreciation to Mark Burrell and the entire team there who helped to make this dream of mine a reality. I really do appreciate that. So with that being said, we got a jam-packed show. Super excited to have you here on the broadcast and to talk about where sports meets life. A lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora this morning. Of course, we have our trio of signature segments that we bring to you every single Friday. So we're going to start things off with the annoying moment of the week, as we always do here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on Fridays. So we'll bring you into the annoying moment of the week, and then we'll go from the annoying moment of the week, which is proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. We'll go from there and get into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Lead coming to you from Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, focusing our topic today on worrying being disobedient. So if you worry, you're actually being disobedient. We'll talk about exactly what that means here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, from something that I learned from church this past week that I thought was really amazing. For those of you that go to church and those of you that don't, I think that this is a very unique way of looking at life, worrying being disobedient, and I think it can really help us to move forward in a positive and productive way. So with that being said, that'll be coming up around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. and then we'll be announcing our top dog of the week. The top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, and both in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, right near BJ's Wholesale Club on the other side of the road. So you could go and bring your dogs over there today, and I suggest you do. There's nowhere else that I would tell you to bring your furry loving friends, so make sure that you get yourself over there to K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding today. See what it's like, and make sure you give them a call. You can call the dog boarding. You can call K9 Kampground at 315-299-4013, and you can call the K9 Camp Dog Daycare at 315-437-7110. So make sure that you do that today so that you can set up a time to go over and check it out, and as well as have the opportunity to drop your dog off either for the day or a few days. If you're going on vacation, renovating the house, whatever you may be doing, make sure that you send your dog to a place where they're treated like family, which is at K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Then we'll round out the show in hour number 2 by celebrating our 11-year anniversary of Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, which I'm honored, privileged, blessed, above all things, thankful, grateful to be able to do, and we get to do that today. So very excited about that here inside of our Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora broadcast, where sports meets life. So with that being said, let's jump right into it with the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. My annoying moment, I may have a few here for us this morning. My first annoying moment of the week has to do with going to theaters, movie theaters, and seeing what people leave at the movie theater. This whole belief of, well, I came to your place, so you clean this up, right? I paid to come here. I bought my movie. You get paid to clean it up, so I'm going to leave this thing a mess. Now, it's twofold, because I don't think you should just leave your stuff lying around. Like, if I order something at the movie theater, I just have grown up that whatever is yours, you take care of. And that doesn't matter whose house you're in. It doesn't matter what event you're at. Whatever is yours, you take care of. And what that means when I'm at the theater is if I ate something, if I drank something, it is my job to take whatever is remaining of that and to walk down the stairs and to very kindly throw it out. And what I have seen at movie theaters, because I go to movies all the time, love going to movies, what I've been seeing lately has been just absolutely gross. It's been ridiculous to see the amount of things that are left, people that just don't seem to care at all, just throwing stuff about, leaving stuff there like animals. So that's my first annoying moment of the week. Pick up your stuff, man. Come on now. Pick up your stuff, throw it away, have some decency, and understand that it's important to clean up after yourself. So, I think it's just, I don't know. It's a horrible thing to do, to just leave it around and not care. I feel like we live in a society which is supposed to be a beacon of hope for other countries, other places, and leaving our trash everywhere is not a kind thing to do. Which brings me into the other side of it at the movie theater. Going to movie theaters where the movie theater people that are supposed to clean between movies, they don't. They might clean your seat. They might clean your table that you eat on. But I was walking out of a movie and I just happened to turn as I was coming down the stairs and I was at the top, and I turned and I looked behind every single, not one, every single row of chairs. There was just disgusting, like, this will bring rats in, it'll bring mice in. There was popcorn everywhere, candy, just nasty. There was literally, it was almost like when they were sweeping, they just sweeped everything, like, just off. If you're like, because if you're sweeping between the rows, they're stacked, right? Like stairs. It was almost like they either sweeped everything to the back of the chair, just sweeped it below them, or they sweeped everything under the chair. And there was trash that looks like it had been piled up for maybe months, weeks, probably. So that's one of my annoying moments of the week. Clean up after yourself, and cleaning crew for the theater, actually clean the theater. Unless you want mice and disgusting things to happen and all that grossness. And the thing is like, they said, oh yeah, we clean the theater for you. But were they, pre-COVID, were they really wiping down with Lysol every seat in like a 500-person theater? I don't think so. And if they were, kudos to them. I want to see it. I want to see that they actually did. Maybe some places did, and I award them for that. You can't say everybody's the same. So to the theaters that did, thank you. To the theaters that didn't, I think you should definitely check yourself, because that's disgusting. And people are paying to come see you. Wipe it down. Wipe it down. Have some decency, right? Have some care and concern for people's health and well-being, because that's just gross. So I would say that. So that's part of my annoying moment of the week, is that you need to clean up after yourself, and that the cleaning crew actually has to clean the theater. It's just gross. Like, if you saw what I saw, I mean, bags of stuff, just stuff everywhere. I mean, stuff that's probably going to get moldy, probably going to grow legs, start running around. Clean your theaters. And that goes for anywhere we go. When you're in a public place, someone's coming there, right? Spending their gas, their time, their mileage, their hard-earned money. Clean up your restaurant. Clean up your theater. Clean your place. People are coming here to spend money. The least you could do is clean and make things presentable. I don't think that's a tough thing to ask. So that's one of my annoying moments of the week. And I would say, my other annoying moment of the week is, what have we done as neighbors, where neighbors don't say hello to each other anymore? Like, I think it's important to know your neighbors. I think it's important, God forbid anything happens in the community, that, you know each other, you look out for each other. I think that that's a really important thing to do. And I feel like we don't always get that. I know some of my neighbors are super nice, and other ones will not look at you. It's not that they won't talk to you, they won't even look at you. And you didn't do anything to them. You've never interacted with them. And so I think for me, it's just community is important to me. And I think it's vital that we learn how to, interact with each other and just say hello. Just say hi and how are you doing and how's your day? I mean, you live next to these people. And I'm the type of person where, I want to say hi to everybody. Hi, how are you? Hi, how's everything going? And at the same time, if I feel like you're standoffish and you're rude, then I don't want to be rude back to you. I just don't feel like coming over to you and saying hello, because I feel like I'm not welcome. So I feel like we could be more welcoming to each other. That's another annoying moment of the week. The other annoying moment of the week that I got to shout out here is, are the airlines that are overselling their flights. Okay, I got to shout you out here. Because, and we'll leave the airlines unnamed, because some do and some don't. But the ones that are overselling your flights, what are you doing? If you have 150 seats, think about it if you did this for the theater. Okay? You go to Movie Tavern in Camillus, right? Right by the Wildcats. You go eat at the Wildcat, like Isaac and I do, and then you go over to the movies. So you're at Movie Tavern, and you're in a 50-seat theater. And they sold 57 tickets. You're playing Russian roulette, hoping to God that they didn't sell E7 twice because you're sitting in E7. Think about that. Think about if you went to a restaurant and there was 60 tables and they called up 72 parties to sit. I guess you got to run faster than everybody else to try and get your seat because 12 parties are not going to get sat even though they were called. It doesn't make sense in any type of business model. If you don't have space, you can't accommodate. You can't seat 72 parties in a restaurant at 60 tables. You can't seat 57 people in the theater with 50 seats. So how do you on a plane say, you know what's a great idea? We should sell this flight to more people than what we actually have seating for. That makes no sense. And what ends up happening is people go nuts. And they don't attack the people at the top that decided to be greedy and sell seats that don't exist. They attack the people that are standing in front of them, right? They attack the gate agents. They attack the person taking their bags. They attack the people in security. And to me, that is, on top of it, just making more and more of a problem. Because the thing is, and I've been with this because I've worked for big businesses before where they do something at the top and they make a decision at the top and it trickles down. And then that person standing in front of you complaining. I just made a phone call yesterday. Prime example. Made a phone call yesterday for something that we have to do with, when you're a business and you're an LLC and so on and so forth, you have to like have certain, things every single year that are set so that you're, in good standing. So you have to take care of your business in a bunch of different ways. And so I called yesterday and there's a fee that I pay every single year. And I said to the guy on the phone, I said, hey, sir, could you tell me why the fee's gone up $90 a year, almost $100 a year? And there was no answer for it. And I said, well, not only did it go up, but it went up during COVID. Like in the heart of COVID, it went up. Why would you, number one, raise your price if you're not giving anything more to your buyers? Why would you raise your price if you're not providing anything more? And on top of that, raise your price by $90. And on top of that, because that's not raising it $3, and on top of that, to do it in the middle of a pandemic. And I said, why did you do it? Like, do you have an answer as to why the company made a decision to do such a thing at such an inopportune time? In general, I find it to be not a great move. And when it comes to COVID, all of our businesses, including my own, we were taking in less money. We couldn't do as much as we wanted to do or travel as much as we wanted to travel. So why would you punish us during a pandemic? And the guy said, honestly, I wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. He said, I have no answer. He's like, I literally don't have anything to tell you. They raised the price and I can't tell you why they did it. And I can't tell you why they did it when they did it. And you just kind of sit there and you're like, okay, I mean, I appreciated his honesty, but why a business during the pandemic was like, hey, we're going to charge you more? And you see that in so many different places. You see it in the grocery store. Why are they punishing consumers? Consumers always end up getting punished. If a movie theater has to pay more for a reel, then going to the movies costs more. Well, the reels used to be $20 and we were charging $5 a movie. Now the reels are $23, so now we're charging $5.50 a movie. Now the reels are $30, now we're charging $7.50 a movie. I was at a theater where I think I saw the price gradually go up $3. It was like our cheapest movie, I think, our most expensive movie was like $7.50. And then we got to double digits. I think we got to the tens, 10.50 and whatnot. And it just kept going up. And that happens everywhere, right? And consumers pay for it. And I call BS on a lot of this stuff because, here in Syracuse, New York, they're like, oh, during COVID, gas prices, supply, demand, because people are home more. If people are home more, they're not driving. So you have more gasoline to sell. So you should be selling it cheaper, not more of it. How does that make sense? If less people are driving because they're at home, why would gas cost more? And the other part of it is they say supply and demand. And I'm like, okay, did we have an influx of 300,000 people coming to Syracuse? I don't think so. So, I mean, I call a lot of, check yourself moments when it comes to stuff like that, because consumers constantly are having to pay to help out the big business that's like, oh man, in this quarter, instead of making 20 mil, we're going to make 17. What do we do with all that money that we lost? You're still making money. There's some big companies that I love, and what they've done to their consumers is outrageous. Outrageous. That amusement park life that I love to have down in Florida, their tickets are like $30 to $40 a day more than when I worked there. That's not fair. My dad spent thousands upon thousands of dollars. When our family went down to Florida, my mom and my dad spent so much money. I remember one time my dad told me how much money he had spent on a trip. And that was 20 years ago. And I look at it now and it's not fair. It's greed. It's greed. Why charge $80 a ticket when we could charge $120? That's greed. There's no reason for it outside of greed. There's no necessity for it outside of greed. These people are making money no matter what, but why make money when you can make more money? That's the thought process, I guess. But see, I don't run my business that way. I'm not trying to lie and beat down the beautiful businesses that have partnered and been dedicated to me. I don't think that that's fair to say. I mean, there are certain things where you say, okay, this is, we gave you a big discount to do this because you're opening your business, and this is what it should be, and we're going to gradually get back there. There's that, and then there's walking up to someone and saying, we're going to add all this money onto it. You're not going to get anything extra. This is just how it is. And I would like to think the businesses that work with me might look at me and say, Dan may be the only or one of a handful of businesses that I work with that didn't raise my price this year. This is what I paid pre-COVID and this is what I pay post-COVID. Because we're trying to get back to normal. And you don't get back to normal by punishing people in the middle of being punished. You don't do that. It's not the right thing to do. We were hurting as a society, as a world. You don't punch somebody who's already down. I don't believe in that. I understand you got to make more money. And I understand that you lost money. But, I say this to cable companies all the time. People cut the cords of cable. So then cable says, okay, we have 2,000 subscribers instead of 4,000. So now that we've lost half of them, charge the 2,000 double. So we're still making the same amount of money as when we had 4,000. Well, then you're going to lose more. See, because you want to make the same amount of money. And in order to make the same amount of money, you have to punish the people that stayed. You don't punish the people that didn't walk out on you. You celebrate them. You do right by them. I believe in celebrating and honoring and appreciating those that are loyal to you You don't punish them. You don't break their bank account. You don't beat them down because somebody else made a decision. In life, I think it's a blanket policy that you do not punish somebody else based on someone else's decisions and choices. And yet that happens all the time. That's happened with me with institutions dealing with the media. There's like one institution that they'll just keep giving stuff to, breaking all the rules to help out this company, and then yelling at us all when we try to do the same thing. Then that company goes and breaks a bunch of policies, and then we all get punished. We just get an email, and it doesn't say, oh, such and such broke a policy. We just get an email saying, now you're not allowed to do this. Now you can't have this. And it's like, wait a minute. The company that you give preferential treatment to just broke a bunch of your rules. Not only are you giving them preferential treatment, which is wrong, but now they've broken a bunch of rules, and now we're all paying the price when none of us broke those rules. I'm a person that believes that if there's 20 people in a room and 3 of them break a rule, then you take the 3 out of the room and you leave the 17 in the room. You don't take all 20 out of the room. We're not responsible for those people. How would you like it in life if a cop pulled you over for somebody else speeding? Because that's what happened. That's what happened in when I'm talking about this media stuff. All right? We're not going to credential any of you for this because those 3 people broke the rule. That's like pulling me over for somebody else speeding. You don't do that. That's like sending me to jail for possession of cocaine when I've never done drugs. That doesn't make any sense. You know, I don't do cocaine. I don't have cocaine. Well, some guy out in California had it, Dan. You got to go to jail for him. That doesn't make any sense. So why have that be a policy anywhere? We have to be responsible, and we have to be willing to give credit where credit is due, be it good, bad, or indifferent. You know, it's my annoying moment of the week because I don't think people should be punished for things that they don't do, and I also don't think and I also don't think that consumers should be constantly punished for businesses wanting to make more money. You know, you go to your favorite restaurant and the dish you order all the time is $15.99, and now it's $30. I mean, I remember going to Disney, going to Ohana at the Polynesian. One of my favorite, it was my favorite restaurant. It's not anymore for 2 reasons. And these 2 reasons are exactly what I'm talking about. Ohana shortened their menu, took a bunch of stuff off, took off all their dipping sauces, all of them, stopped seasoning things. So it's like, how much money are you saving to put a little orange sauce on some stuff? But they shortened their menu. They stopped using dipping sauces, and they stopped seasoning certain things, and they're charging $20 more a plate. So they punished us, took things away from us, and are now asking us to pay almost double. And I don't believe in that. I think going there was $35.99, and now it's 50-something. I remember I walked in there, they're like, oh yeah, it's been this way. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. I think I would have remembered going from like 35 to 57. And you're paying so much more, and you're getting less. Pay more, get less. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound like a good business model to me, but businesses do that all the time. And I don't think it's right, and I don't think it's positive, and I don't think it's good business. And I would love for us to, you know, as business people, me being a business person, I find it incredibly important to make sure that you are kind to the people that are willing to spend money with you, spend time with you, click on something, like something, read something, watch something. You should be celebrating those people, not punishing them. And that's why it's an annoying moment of the week for me. With that being said, the annoying moment of the week coming from Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. So whatever's bothering you today, or whatever's making you chipper today, head off to Carvel, because the one thing you're going to get from Carvel is consistent flavor that is great, unique, original, on its own, and the only place where you're going to get the DT Dolphin, which is our Lemoyne Dolphin-centric sundae that I created through Dan Tortora Broadcast Media exclusively at Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Mint chocolate chip ice cream, so green ice cream, hot fudge, whipped cream, cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. The only place in the world to get the DT Dolphin is right down the road from Lemoyne at Carvel DeWitt, and we look forward to seeing you there. We'll take a step aside. We'll be back with Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports meets life. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, all around the country and the world. You're hanging out with us on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, as well as on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. You have the opportunity to hang out with us on all of these live feeds, and then once the show goes live, you can go and check out our archives, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, Podvine, Player FM, Podchaser, YouTube, as well as Boomplay. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and we appreciate everyone that has done that, and I thank you for doing that here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So with that being said, it's time for us to jump into LEAD. Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is the acronym that I created. And I definitely say that, God helped me to have this idea. It was in 2019, before everything happened with the pandemic in this country. It's when we were looking over at, overseas and looking at China and saying like, oh, well, it's, what's going on over there? And I was praying that everybody would be okay. And at the same time that this thing would not reach across the world, which unfortunately it did. And with it reaching across the world and getting to us, learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering became extremely important. And so, I definitely look back upon this and say to myself that this segment, which, I believed had a purpose from the beginning, or else why do it, had an even bigger purpose that God helped me to put into action by creating something that talked about us learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering. So I can't thank God enough for helping me to have this idea and have this opportunity to bring something like this to all of you, as we had, the chance to kind of reflect and think about how we can be better as a planet and better to each other and better to ourselves. And LEAD came out of that: learning, evolving, ad-libbing, and delivering. And that brings me to today's topic. Worrying is disobedience. Now, this is something I learned in church here this past Sunday, and I thought that this was incredibly important to reflect upon. Worrying is disobedience. That to worry is to lack faith, and to lack faith is to be disobedient to God. And so this definitely gave me a totally unique approach that I hadn't taken before. When you think about worrying being disobedient, you think about the fact that if you worry, you're essentially going against God, because God says, don't fret. Now, it's easy to worry, right? It's easy to worry. I'm 37 years old, no girlfriend, no fiance, no wife. I want to be a dad someday, and I would like to marry the right person. So I could worry, and I have. Full disclosure, there's times where you sit there and you go, dang it, I really wanted to be a dad, and I really wanted to have that true love in my life that special love that you get from having a partner. She's not here yet, and the kids aren't here yet. I got Lily, who's my kid, and my human babies aren't here yet. So you think to yourself, I'm going to worry about it. But in church, the priest said worrying is disobedient. For you to worry is to not trust God's plan. And how dare anybody not trust God? It made me think. When I worry about what other people think of me, it's being disobedient. When I worry about, can I do this? Will people like this if I try this? That's being disobedient. When I worry about anything, money, time, energy, I'm being disobedient. When I worry about things I can't control, I'm being disobedient. When I worry about things I can control, I'm being disobedient. What an amazing way to look at it, to help us to not be disobedient, is to talk to us about the fact that disobedience, or to not worry because it's being disobedient. What an amazing thing to truly look at in life and understand, is that if we worry, we are being disobedient. If we take the time in our lives to fret, then we're not respecting God. We're being not that we're not respecting God. We're being I shouldn't say that. We're being disobedient. Worrying is making us go farther from the kingdom of heaven, farther from life after death, farther from seeing our loved ones again. Worrying does not achieve anything, it destroys. See, I've been a worrywart. My parents can tell you that. And it doesn't get you anywhere. Because you think about worrying and you have the same, you worry about something and then 5 years later, 10 years later, you worry about it again and you reflect back and you go, oh my God, I don't want to I don't want to have all these memories of me worrying. I don't have all these memories of what I said and just like letting it take over my life and bother me. I don't want to have memories like this. So you have to learn from it, not do it. And you have to catch yourself. Like at 37 years old, when I was 27, was I worried about the same thing? Yeah. Where did it get me? Nowhere. 10 years later, worrying didn't achieve it for me. And worrying and fear are not going to get you anywhere. Fear will make you quit, which is a word that I don't like to say because it makes me want to throw up, and I don't believe in it. But worrying will make you run. Fear will make you run. It'll keep you from challenging yourself. It'll keep you from being honest with yourself. It'll keep you from God. But to say a simple sentence, worrying is disobedience. To me, someone who worries so much and feels like they have no control over it, this could help you control it. Because if you believe in God and you have a faith and you believe that God is there for you and helps you through everything, then you would believe that God's got your back when you're worrying. And if worrying has become a problem for you that you can't seem to solve, but you take it as a disobedience, you may try a lot harder because you don't want to be disobedient to God. And so I think it's an incredible learning tool to, take this worrying as disobedience and to actually listen to that, to take that in and to say to yourself, well, gosh darn it, I don't want to be disobedient to God. So you know what? I'm not going to worry. Because mental health is such it's not a hot button topic today. It's a hot button topic every day. We should have talked about it 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 2,000 years ago. Mental health is very important. Now, I think we live in a world of complete hypocrisy because the people not everybody, some people out there screaming about mental health and being good to people are also saying horrific things to people. And you can't be a bully and then claim that you're pro mental health, because that doesn't make any sense. And so here we are in this world of now we talk about mental health and we didn't talk about it as much before publicly. Worrying destroys. Worrying leads to stress. Stress leads to pain. Pain leads to ailments. Ailments could lead to death. And you might say, Dan, that's morbid. And I say, well, that's truth. It's truth. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to. And have I always done a good job of taking care of myself? Absolutely not. Have I always lived a world of not worrying? No. Have I always, had, mental health outlets? No, because as a kid, I was taught, get over it. If something was bothering me, a lot of adults would go, get over it. Don't be a wuss. Don't be a wimp. Don't be a girl. People would say to me, which is ridiculous because it always made girls a negative connotation. That's why when somebody says you play like a girl, I'm like, I think that's great because how many great women athletes are there? So if you play like a woman, it should be a compliment. But yeah, I mean, growing up, it was get over it. It was, I didn't hurt you, you're too weak. I didn't hurt you, you just can't take it. I didn't hurt you, you're just sensitive. I didn't do anything to you because if I was mean to somebody else who wasn't as sensitive as you, they would have been fine. So I'm not at fault for being a mean person. You're at fault for not being able to take my meanness and not care about it. And that's ridiculous. So, do we talk about mental health more now? Yeah, and that's great. But we still worry. And there's a lot of mental health, defenders that are very, very anti somebody else's mental health. Like, they want their mental health to be strong, but they're trying to destroy somebody else's. You cannot be for the health and well-being of a community when you are bullying either that community or another community. Oh, I love my people, but I'm going to bully these people. No, then you're not for mental health, and you're not for well-being and health in general. I think in our society, the problem is not just worrying and mental health. The problem is hypocrisy. The problem is that the people that want to be held and coddled and nurtured and loved are the people that are hating and maiming and shaming and pushing down and making people feel like they need to change. You cannot threaten somebody and then ask to not be threatened. You cannot hurt someone and ask to not be hurt. You cannot bully someone and then claim to be the victim. I mean, you can, but it's not logic. You can, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You can, but everything comes out in the wash. Karma is not a B. People say karma's a B. Karma's not a B. Karma's a B if you slap karma. If you hug karma, you welcome karma. When you see karma, you see her coming up in a bed of flowers. But if you slap karma, karma's coming with a fire. With a torch. Karma is how you treat karma. And whatever you believe that to be, I believe what goes around comes around, because I believe that our God wants to remind people that they are not God. And listen, you can't be mad at God when what goes around comes around. Oh, I cheated on my girlfriend. 3 years later, I dated a girl who cheated on me. I don't feel bad for you. I mean, I feel bad that you were hurt, but I don't, let me rephrase this. It's not that I don't feel bad for you. I feel bad that you're hurt, but I don't think you have a leg to stand on. Because somebody did to you what you did to somebody else. And now you want sympathy. No. No. Because you're living in what you did to somebody. And you're supposed to learn from that. We're all supposed to learn from the things that we do. Good, bad, and indifferent. And so, to me, if we all care about each other, which not everybody does, we don't live in a perfect society. We don't live in a society where everybody loves everybody. We don't live in a society where people aren't hypocrites. We don't live in a society where people don't disrespect one another. We don't live in a society where people don't create problems out of nothing. We don't live in a society where people don't bully. We don't live in a society where people don't try to hurt other people to make themselves feel better. We live in a society where people are broken and people are strong. Where people are kind and where people are mean. We live in a society that has a mix of everything. Those that are kind and those are not. Those that are hypocrites and those that are not. Those that love and those that hate. Those that pay it forward when it comes to love and those that pay it forward when it comes to their pain. We live in a society that's filled with a lot of different options and people that take those many different options and sometimes use the good ones and sometimes use the other ones. So how do we not worry is what somebody's probably asking watching the show right now. Dan, how do I not worry in a society that where people genuinely maybe don't care about me. They don't want me to be healthy. They don't want me to be well. I don't matter to them. How do I live in a society? Well, stop thinking about what they want. Stop thinking about what they want. Why does it matter to you what somebody wants that wants to hurt you? You know, we focus on what other people want for us, how other people want us to feel. How do you want to feel? How would you like to feel? Don't worry about how they want you to feel. How do you want to feel? What do you want from your life? What matters to you? How do you grow? How do you blossom? How do you get better? How do you get healthier? How do you create the life that you want? Don't worry about them. Think about how you are going to take care of you today. And I'm not saying don't think of other people and be nice to other people. I am not saying that at all. I'm saying stop making what other people want your focus. You have every right in your life to choose what you want for yourself. You have the right to choose, to seek, to try and find your peace, your love, your place. Nobody owes you anything, and you don't owe anybody anything. And you have to make a decision in your life of where you're going to go and how you plan on getting there. But worrying will not get you there. Worrying will take you farther and farther from God. Worrying will make you feel lonely. Worrying will make you feel powerless. Worrying will give you an upset stomach. Worrying will manifest itself in so many different types of pain. Worrying will leave you feeling stranded. So why do that? Why worry? Why put yourself in a position where you are being disobedient to the God that made you? So many things don't work. People tell you to stop worrying. When you're worrying and someone goes, well, just stop. That never works. That almost never. Maybe it worked one time. But I remember one time I got a sunburn and I was itching like crazy. And I was like twitching while I was itching. Like my body was doing these like weird twitches because I was just feeling like pings of like itch all over my body. And I was dating someone who looked at me and goes, okay, stop. That's enough. That's enough. Like I could control my sunburn. Like I could control how it felt. She said, that's enough. Stop. How often does that work? Oh, you know what? My sunburn hurt her and it stopped. She said, I've had enough, and my sunburn went, you're right. Sorry, my bad. No, that doesn't happen. So it doesn't work to just walk up to someone and go, stop worrying. Knock it off. That doesn't work. What works is, to me, when all else failed, trust in God. When all else doesn't fail, trust in God. I have people that listen to this show that believe in God, and I have people that listen to the show that don't. And I welcome you all to the show. Why? Because you're all God's children, whether you like it or not. And you all matter to me, and you all matter to God. And I have no problem telling you that you matter to God and that you matter to me. If you want to be mad about that, okay, what are you going to say? I'm mad that on Dan's show, he told me that God and him love me and care about me. How dare he do that? How dare he say that he cares about me? Well, I do. And I want you to be well. And take it from somebody who's worried most of their life, when nothing else works, and you go to church and you hear that by worrying, I'm actually working against God. I don't ever want to work against God. The one thing that can snap me out of worrying, I don't want to be disobedient to God. I don't want God to think that I don't have faith. I don't want to show God that I don't believe in what he's doing and why he's doing it, even when I don't understand any of it. I don't want to be disobedient to my Maker. So how do I get rid of worrying? By reminding myself every day what I just learned. Worrying is being disobedient. Worrying is not being faithful. And if you don't have faith in God, then you're not doing it right. So even when it's crazy, even when it makes no sense, worrying is being disobedient, and I refuse to go against God, which is helping me to not worry. And we all got to do what works for us in a positive and productive way, right? And in a positive and productive way, I'm hoping that some of you that worry can see that this message, worrying is disobedience, can hopefully help you to tell you, I don't want to be on the wrong side of God. I don't want to work against God. So if my worrying is taking me away from the God that I love, then I'm going to check myself when I worry and remind myself that faith keeps me close to God. Worrying makes me vulnerable to evil, and it takes me away. And who wants to be vulnerable to evil? So, if you don't want to worry, remind yourself that God is not a God of chaos, but of peace. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with the top dog of the week right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway. PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And then them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of Where Sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time around the world on Facebook.com and YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. It's time for the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding of East Syracuse. You can find the campground by going to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse. You can also go to the letter K, the number 9, and kampground.com. That's K, the number 9, kampground.com, k9campground.com for more information. You can call the K9 Campground Dog Boarding at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. You can get in touch with the Daycare by going to 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. And you can also go to k-kamp.com for k9camp.com, and you can call them at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 for K9 Camp Dog Daycare. And once again, the campground, 315-299-4013. Call them up now. They get packed quick, so you don't want to miss out on an opportunity to get your little pup in there as well as your big old dog. Whatever you got going on. You got the little pup, you got the big pup, you got the dog that's been in the family for 15 years, you got the dog that just came into the family a couple of years ago. There is a place for all of our dogs at K9 Camp Dog Daycare as well as K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Make sure that you reach out to them today. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you their way. And once again, the Daycare, 315-437-7110. And the Campground Dog Boarding, 315-299-4013. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, my top dog of the week this week, I would have to say, there's a lot of places that I could go with this for sure. And I think that I have to make my top dog of the week for today Mr. Tony Bennett. Now, I would play some of Tony's music, but Facebook and YouTube are outrageous. Like, ridiculous when it comes to, I could say a million times, I'm playing the song, I have no ownership of the song does not belong to me, there's a disclaimer, and sometimes they'll say something, and other times they're like, hey, you took this song, you stole it, you're trying to make money. It's like, nope, just trying to celebrate somebody. So, I definitely, and the thing is, you take it from people that put it on YouTube anyways. It's like they put Tony Bennett's song on their YouTube channel, and you're trying to say that it shouldn't. Doesn't make any sense. Never makes any sense. So, Tony Bennett, anywho, is somebody who's been so special to the world of music. And so I'm going to share.
Roofers are furious about this.
Not this part. I'm not going to share the commercial, but I'm going to share because this is coming from YouTube. So I'm going to share this in the background while I talk and remind you that I do not own the rights to Tony Bennett music. I'm just trying to honor someone that's meant so much to so many people. So please do not mute this video, Facebook or YouTube.
Every day would be the first day of spring. Every heart would have a new song to sing.
Tony Bennett, 96 years old, and touring up until very recently, has returned to heaven today, July 21st, 2023. He was born in Long Island City on August 3rd, of 1926. And was close to being 97 years old. He had a number one album at age 85. 85. His professional career spanned 8 decades. Do the math. He's 96 years old. His career spanned 8 decades. Frank Sinatra had called him the greatest popular singer in the world. Tony Bennett, I think this is one of the biggest things that I can say today. Tony Bennett was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2016, but he continued to perform and record through 2021. And being a grandson of my Gammy, who had Alzheimer's, and my G-Mama, who had dementia, to continue to work through all of this and to continue to follow your passion and be every bit of who you are despite something you couldn't control says a lot about Tony Bennett. And you know, we're honoring a hero. You know, someone that helped so many people to feel, to admit their feelings, to share their feelings, to be open, to be honest, to just live in the music. You know, I think if you know music, you know that it can do so many things that a lot of other things can't do. It has an honesty to it. It has a magic to it. Started recording back in 1949. He was managed by his son Danny later on in his career. He worked with Amy Winehouse. He worked with Lady Gaga, Diana Krall. And he just made an appearance with Lady Gaga at Radio City Music Hall in August of 2021, which was 2 months before his last release, Love for Sale, with Lady Gaga, the sequel to their Cheek to Cheek, which they released in 2014 as a collaboration. There's so many things that we can say. 18 Grammy Awards, 36 nominations. So won half the time that he was nominated and was nominated almost 40 times. Recording Academy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient in 2001. He won 2 Emmys Kennedy Center honoree in 2005, National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Master in 2006. Composer and critic Alec Wilder said this about Tony Bennett, quote, "There is a quality about it that lets you in," end quote, speaking about his music. Tony Bennett was born, once again, they said Long Island City, but he was born in Astoria, Queens, New York, which I have family out there. Shout out to my fam. God bless. His name, Anthony Dominic Benedetto. So, Anthony got shortened to Tony, Benedetto to Bennett. His parents are Italian immigrants. His father was a grocer. His mother was a seamstress. He was raised in poverty, began singing as a child, and studied music as well as painting at New York's High School of Industrial Art. Those who influenced him, Al Jolson, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, as well as Billie Holiday and Judy Garland. He was drafted in World War II at 18 years old, same age as my grandfather, who was also drafted. Interesting. In 1944. He served in World War II's European theater doing combat infantry duty and liberating a German concentration camp. At the end of the conflict, he would sing as a member of the Armed Forces Band. I'm reading this statement that I never knew about him as I'm sitting with you here today all around the world on Wake Up Call. And I'm realizing that he was drafted at the same time as my grandfather, like I stated, and that he liberated a German concentration camp, which could have been the one that my great uncle, my grandfather's brother, my Uncle Bucky, was in. So Tony Bennett could have been working alongside my grandfather and could have freed my great Uncle Bucky. And it's pretty incredible to say that three of my great uncles and my grandfather were fighting for America alongside Tony Bennett. And Tony Bennett fighting alongside them. Bob Hope when I talked about his name, Anthony Benedetto, made it into Tony Bennett, which was an abbreviation and Americanization of his given name, and hired him for a stage show at New York's Paramount Theater. Everything goes and goes and goes here. And there's so much, like I said, there's so much history. So much history. As I'm sitting here this morning looking through it. Working with pianist Sharon, who brought I Left My Heart in San Francisco, which were penned by his friends George Corey and Douglas Cross. I mean, the team of people that worked with him. There was a time where he didn't have a label or a manager, where he was divorced and had not one but two marriages end. Had a cocaine addiction. And Danny Bennett assumed management of his father's career in 1980. We all go through trials and tribulations. We all go through ups and downs. Even Tony Bennett. We all go through tough stuff. But it's not the tough stuff we go through that matters. It's how tough we are and how we respond to the tough stuff trying to knock us out of the ring. Anthony Benedetto, aka Tony Bennett, is survived by his wife Susan, his two sons Danny and Day, his daughters Joanna and Antonia, and 9 grandchildren. He's my top dog of the week because honoring him the day that he returned to heaven for everything that he did to try and bring some heaven to people here on earth, to bring some peace, to bring some kindness, to bring goodness. Like I said, music, it transcends time. Music brings out emotion. It brings us to places. Music can heal us. Music can force us to be blatantly honest with ourselves and with each other. Music is something that binds us all. It affects people of different cultures, backgrounds, nationalities, languages, money situation, education. It affects us all the same way. Music has the ability to unite. That's why it has so much power to it, because it has the ability to bring us together, to remind us that we're not that different from each other. And I think it brings us closer to God. So Tony, as you meet God once again, like you did when you were born, and coming down from heaven, as you return to God, I want to thank you for your music. I want to thank you for your fight. I want to thank you for rising through the adversity, be it adversity you created or someone else did that you couldn't control. Thank you for rising above it. Thank you for giving us beautiful music. Thank you for helping us to be honest with ourselves, with each other, to feel, to learn, to grow, to hurt, to break so we can come back together. Thank you for using the beauty of music to dance into our souls and to sing us goodnight. I pray that all of your loved ones and everyone whose lives you've touched will always feel close to you, because they are, because death is not the end. May you be with us, may we be with you, and may God be with us all. God bless your wife, your sons, your daughters, your grandchildren, all of your family and friends, everyone you worked with, and everyone who you had an impression on. May your music live forever. May your soul, more importantly, live forever with God. May you be forgiven. May you always be a beacon of light. And may your star now shine up in heaven for us all to see. Tony, God bless you. God bless yours. Thanks be to God. And keep singing in heaven. Give my grandmas and my grandpas a hug from me. They would love to meet you. And despite having Alzheimer's for 5 years, you performed, you recorded, you continued. You didn't let something out of your control break you down. And I know that dementia and Alzheimer's are very unforgiving at times. And yet you never gave up. You never gave in. You never backed down. You never let them win. Thank you for that. Thank you for all you've done. I appreciate it. I applaud it. I thank you for all the work. And I want to thank the wonderful people that shared this beautiful story from Variety that I just reflected upon. Variety, thank you for doing the research and having the information handy so that I could share that this morning very easily. So I want to thank Variety for that. We appreciate you. We applaud you. We thank you for sharing Tony's story. And Tony, you're our top dog of the week. And you will continue to sing from heaven, I know it. May your music continue to touch our hearts, help us to be honest with each other, to reflect, to be good, and may your music help us to heal. I want to believe that God's work can be done through music, and I pray it continues to be done through yours. God bless you. Thank you for being our top dog of the week. Proudly brought to you by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, both in East Syracuse. We'll be back right after this to celebrate 11 years of being in business.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here where sports meets life. We're thankful to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Can't thank you enough for being a part of the show and all of the awesome things that we get to do and wonderful people that we have the blessing and opportunity of speaking with all throughout the year, and doing over 230 shows a year in the morning, plus all the shows we do on site, on location at the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York, as well as Avicoli's in Liverpool, Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. All the things that we get to do with you throughout the year mean so very much to me, and it warms my heart to be out in the community, to get to meet people, talk with people, and celebrate. Just really, honestly, take the time to celebrate and be together, right? Spread positivity, spread goodness, spread love, spread cheer. So it's very humbling and beautiful to be celebrating 11 years. It's such a unique thing, I mean, you don't think about it, when you're working, you're just working, you're just doing your stuff, and you're not thinking to yourself like, oh man, this is year 4, this is year 5, this is year 7, this year, I mean, I know it when I think about it here and there, but you're not doing it because you're trying to rack up these years. You're doing what you love because you love it, and you're enjoying what you're doing, hopefully, or why do it? And I love what I do, and I do what I love, and I'm so grateful to have the wonderful blessing of being able to wake up every single day and do what I love. I love telling stories. I love bringing people together. I love seeing people smile. And being in this 11-year anniversary, I was told a long time ago, if your business makes it through the first year, you'll make it. And then they said, oh no, that's 5 years. And then they said, oh no, just kidding, that's 10 years. And now we're at year 11. And I don't think about if we're going to make it. How are we going to make it? I'm not worried about making it. Because when you live your dreams and you chase after what you want in life, and you do things with a humble heart, you do things with faith in God, you do things with the reality that you don't give yourself all the credit, that you give the glory to God and not the glory to yourself. When you do that, and you can rise through adversity, and you can find the humor, when you find the really good people that really get what you're doing, and you can work together, and that invigorates you. And you could tell a story, and then tell another one, and then tell another one. And you can see the look on the faces of the moms and the dads and the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents and the wife and the husband, the kids. When you can see other people being proud, right? It's not about the money. It's not. And it's not about the clicks. Because there's places that make money that I think, are they making money morally? Maybe they are, maybe they're not. They're making money. There's places that make more money than me that do things I wouldn't do. And the clicks, there's a lot of things that get clicked on that lie, right? That headline that gets you to click. Because all they care about is the clicks. How many times did you click? But did people actually read it? Did people appreciate the fact that you lied to them by the post that you put out? Nah, just happy that they clicked on it because my boss saw that they clicked on it. It's not about the clicks, and it's not about the likes, and it's not about the tweets, and it's not about the follows. And well, Dan, how can you say that? Because look at some things that people follow. Look at some things they click on. I posted a video on TikTok that I barely use. And I was like, just for giggles, I want to see how many views this thing gets. I heated up Coke Zero in a microwave because it was frozen. It reached over 4,000 people. That made me sad. Because I put out a post about positive reinforcement and, helping people break down their, walls of their problems and be good to themselves. And that reached like 300 or 400 people. But a 10-second video of a frozen Coca-Cola in a microwave reaches 4,000 people. It's not about the clicks. It's not about the likes. It's not about the money. How did I get to 11 years? Number 1, I believe in God. Number 2, I run everything through God. Number 3, I work with God. Every day in the trenches, I work with God and I never feel alone. Number 4, I care about my craft. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to know if I'm wrong so that I can be right, so I can get better. That I can learn information. I love the fact that I stepped into this thing as a fan of certain sports and now I know a bunch of them. What gets you to 11 years is not focusing on the money, the clicks, the likes, the follows, the tweets, the memberships. It's not focusing on how many years am I at now. When you're running and you're constantly going, am I at 10,000? Am I at 10,000? Am I at 10,000? Am I at 10,000? It feels more daunting. It feels like the air goes out of your lungs. Trust me, I've done it. Wondering when you're going to get to the number that you're setting to get to. When you're focused on that and you're not focused on the journey and you're focused on the destination feels like the end of a rainbow. It feels like it's forever away. If I'm out there and I'm walking and I'm going, am I at 10,000? Am I at 10,000? Am I at 10,000? I feel like I get shortness of breath. My body gets more tired, and I feel like I'm pulling rocks with my legs. Because when you focus on getting there, you're dragging yourself. Your body is reacting. Your mind is working against you. When you focus on the bird and walking Lily, you're walking your dog. You look up at a bird. You look around, you're having a good time, the breeze feels good, you're listening to your favorite song. Now all of a sudden you hit 10,000, and this has happened to me many times. I'm like, I didn't even think I was close to that. But how did I hit it? Because I was enjoying my life. See, when you do what you love and you love what you do, I'm sitting here every single day going, oh my goodness, 11 years? How did I get to 11 years? How is it already 11 years? You want to know why? Because on July 20th, 2012, I didn't say to myself, I'm going to pay attention to every single day and try to get there, because it would have made me feel suffocated. I did not pay attention of the road to get to year 1. I wasn't like, okay, this is day 35, this is day 57, this is day 200. I didn't do that at 5 years, I didn't do it at 10 years, I'm not doing it now. Because Dan Tortora Broadcast Media and myself in general for over 19 years, I've gotten to where I am today because of God's love, God's grace, God's forgiveness, God's understanding God's help, because God guided me to every beautiful business that I work with. Now I have to do the work. I have to call. I have to speak well. I have to carry myself well. I have to be confident. I have to know what I'm talking about, know what I'm selling, know why I'm selling it, have a good template, and be professional. But God opens those doors. Jared Mosley was on the show yesterday, VP and Director of Athletics at the University of Texas. And he said, all of this stuff that's happened in my life, all of these blessings that I've had, they didn't just happen by accident. They wouldn't have just happened. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, like, from a guy coming from a small town, things like this wouldn't just happen to a guy like me. They wouldn't just randomly happen to a guy like me. And I feel the same way. I would have been successful if I was born in New York, Connecticut, Florida, Africa, any country in Africa, right? Europe, Asia, Antarctica. Wherever you had me born, I was going to be successful. Why? Because I believe in God, I chase my dreams, I know my talents, and I know that I can make a difference. I believe in myself. You don't get to an anniversary of your company or of what you're doing by focusing on everybody else. You focus on God, you focus on what you want, and you listen. Because sometimes what you want is not what God wants for you. Sometimes what you want is going to lead you down the wrong path. You know, I thought I wanted to live here, but if I had lived there, then I wouldn't be here right now talking about all these amazing things that we get to do. Because if I was in a different state, then I wouldn't be talking about Lemoyne and Bryan and Stratton, College of Syracuse, and Alfred University. I wouldn't be talking about West Genesee and Liverpool and CNS and CBA and Baldwinsville and Windsor and Shenango Forks and Shenango Valley. I wouldn't be talking about some of these coaches and student athletes that I met. On this 11-year anniversary, I think about the people that make my life exponentially more beautiful. My mom, my dad, who both took me out and celebrated with me yesterday, my dog Lily, Bob Beretta, Dr. Linda Lemura, Pete Delora, Nick Dmitrievsky, Alex Grigorita, Clay Gagan Sherman, the coaches, the student athletes, Mark Zupan, Deb Stewart, Mark Daines. I think about the people that have made decisions, that have chosen me. I look at this group: Jake Cartini, James and Angela Bell, Joel Carpenter, Danny and Heather Tome, Jimmer Sikowski, Betty Sikowski, the Sikowski family, Merritt and Catherine Brady, and Owen, John at Avicoli's, Josh and Anthony at GG Cards and Breaks, Pat and Sue at PB&J's Lunchbox, Lorraine at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the Townsend family at Great Lakes Honda City, Mark Zaccaro, Ralph, the Delia family at Pizza Man, Pete Green at Mother's Cupboard. I think about all of you because you chose me. God opened the door. I had to do the work. But what I couldn't control is if you chose me. I have to thank Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, webs.com, Alexa, Google Home. Because you chose me. Because you were an avenue to me. Because you allowed me. All the software that we've used, everything that we've done. I have to thank all of you. I don't have to thank all of you. I choose to thank all of you. Because those of you that created the software that I use have made it possible for me to broadcast in the way that I do. There are so many people that have worked behind the scenes on so many things. I want to thank Dr. Lawrence. I want to thank Ernie Mangoni. I want to thank Mark Ruddy. I want to thank Donald Godwin, June Ann Greco, Mary Beth Holmes, Jay Hammerin, Brandon Smith, Eric Grunman, Enrico Mastriani, Tara Machaco, Gabby Holko, Jen Carlton, Pat Murphy. I want to thank so many wonderful people because you believed and have believed, continue to believe in my mission, in my vision. Jerry Hart, been a fan of my work since 2003, was working security at Marywood when I started my career with MU Courtside Broadcasting, NCAA men's and women's Division III games, put a name on it and made it into something even more than what it was at the time. They were broadcasts. They didn't have a name. They didn't have a logo. They didn't have graphics. They didn't have consistency on TV and radio simultaneously. I have to thank Sister John for giving me the beach retreat and Search, for allowing me to be a team member on Search, a team leader on Search. I have to thank my G-Mama, my Gammy, my Pop Cavino, my Pop Miller, my Papa Pandozzi, my Grandpa Bill. Gina Castelli. Teresa Quilty. Mark DeSalvo. Mr. Sacco. Mr. Benware. Mr. Roach. There's so many people to thank. There's so many beautiful and wonderful people to thank. And my dogs, Mordu, Cinnamon, Shady, of course, Lily, my little baby girl. Sunny Magic and Daredevil, my pets as well. I want to thank all my friends that have stuck around and all my friends that walked away because y'all taught me something. You taught me the value of friendship and knowing who your people truly are and knowing who they're not and how to bounce back from heartache. So I want to thank Ross Turetsky. I want to thank Brendan Murphy, Joe Forgione. I want to thank Joe Lando III. I want to thank Papa Joe, Mary T., my other parents. I want to thank my Aunt Jeannie, my Aunt Carol, my Aunt Dorothy. I want to thank Johnny Roberts and Aaron Roberts. I want to thank my godson Noah. I want to thank my nieces and nephews from Noah to Ariana, Dakota, Sequoia, Carter up in heaven, Carly, Gracie, Lorelei, LJ, Emily, Carter. I want to thank Amy. I want to thank my Auntie Lane, my Uncle Jimmy, James, Melissa, Lisa, Uncle Pete, Uncle Pat. I want to thank you too. Hope you and Grandpa are okay now. Aunt Josephine, my Aunt Mary, my Uncle Bucky, my Uncle Richie, my Uncle Tony, my other Uncle Tony, my Uncle Pat, my Uncle Carmen, my Aunt Chicky, my Uncle Vincent, my Uncle Alex, my Aunt Rita, my Aunt Rita Ann, the great aunts I'm talking about, my Aunt Fran, Derek, Sammy, Franny, Ralph, besides my dad, who's also named Ralph, my Aunt Donna, my Aunt Ev, Nico, Miguel, Pal, Ramsey, Leo, their dogs. I mean, there's so much on my mind to be thankful for and on my heart. I'm thankful for every business that said no, and I'm thankful for every business that said yes. I'm thankful for every girl I asked out that said no, and every girl that I asked out that said yes. I'm thankful that I was married and I got to learn from that marriage. It wasn't healthy for me and it wasn't good. And I wasn't perfect and she wasn't perfect, and yet I'm thankful for her because there's advice that she gave me that even though we're not together, and even though we weren't right for each other, and even though there was no going back, there's things that she taught me that I will always be thankful to her for. "11 years doesn't happen alone. It doesn't happen with the absence of God. Whether you believe it is or not, all of us business owners have coincidences that we can't explain. And some of us say it's God, and some of us say it's the universe, and some of us say it's random, and some of us say it's coincidence, and some of us say it's us. We did it. But it all came from God, in my opinion. "11 years. What's it taught me? It's taught me to love myself. It's taught me to listen. It's taught me to listen to hear and not to listen to speak. I want to thank Floyd Little, who helped to give me the courage to start my business and called on my behalf, and I miss him. I want to thank Rob Drummond. I want to thank Mark Burrell. I want to thank the Carbondale YMCA that hired me to my first ever coaching position as a U12 soccer head coach. I want to thank Marywood for all their belief in me. I want to thank Enrico and Tara for giving me my first keynote speaking job ever, and it was at my alma mater of Marywood to honor MU courtside and all the work that I had done that other people had taken credit for. And I thought, I never wanted a pat on the back. I just didn't want anybody to take my child and claim it as their own. And I had come to peace with it for the most part. And being asked to come back and having people actually reflect on what I had done and want to honor that and celebrate that, I can never thank them enough for what they did for me. I want to thank Disney for hiring a kid that always went there as a safe haven. And I pray that they could be that again. And that they don't lose their way. I want to thank Rudy for giving me a home down in Florida. I want to thank the first person that sold me my first apartment. Leased it to me, I should say. I want to thank Colin Cantwell for giving me a job at ESPN Radio in Orlando. I want to thank Chick-fil-A Cicero for being a heck of a producer. A great one. I want to thank Tom Mitchell and Shane Bogardus for giving me the opportunity to have my show on the Score 1260. I want to thank my bosses before that when it was ESPN 1260, that I got to have a show there. I want to thank the Scranton Times-Tribune, Times Shamrock Communications, I should say, and all my bosses, and my first ever program manager that all gave me advice that I still use to today, and all helped me to have my first show out of college on ESPN Radio 630, 1240, and 96.1 FM. I want to thank everybody that treated me poorly at that first professional job when I stepped out of college, because you taught me how to be myself amidst a storm. I want to thank everybody that lied to me and breached their contracts, because you taught me composure, kindness in the face of downright disrespect. You taught me how to be nicer to people than they are to me. That even in the moments where I want to really be human and be an eye for an eye, you've taught me to be strong, to stand up for myself, and that no matter what somebody does that I can't control, to love myself and not let my day be ruined over it. To everybody that's tried to get me to stop my career, that's libel and slandered me, disrespected me, put me down, attempted to ruin things that I built, so many people that have stolen from me. I appreciate you, because you wouldn't hate me, steal from me, or try to get me to quit, or try to get people to stop listening and watching my show unless I was a threat to you, unless you were jealous. So you are a reminder to me every single day that my road back to heaven is not an easy one, but that I'm on my way. Life is not meant to be easy. And the road that you travel behind Jesus' footsteps are up to a cross. In order to live forever, those of us that follow God are going to catch some negativity, some hate, some jealousy, some backlash, some fake friends, and some real enemies. Because living on earth is kind of like going through Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's an obstacle course to get back to where we're supposed to be. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to have paparazzi. I'm not trying to be powerful. I'm trying to do the right thing while doing what I love, while serving God above everything, including myself, and challenging myself. I want to use every talent that I have to bring people together and to do good in this world, and to help people to smile and laugh and cry happy tears and learn and call their mom and dad and hug their loved ones and be grateful for the person that married them, and to never settle. 11 years has taught me how to be me more and more every day. 11 years has taught me that when your wife doesn't support things that you do. If you really believe in your mission and your vision, and you are serving God, and you are chasing your dreams, and you're doing things for the right reasons, that you have to shed wives, husbands, best friends, family members, if they do not support your good heart and your drive and your determination. No one that stands in my way has ever succeeded, and they never will, because when God is for you, who can be against you? Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, because thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff protect me. You will set my table in front of mine enemies. I will eat in front of them. The people that tried to make me starve, you will set my table in front of them, and they will watch me eat from your gifts, from your blessings. No one will stop those that are going toward God. Nobody can. Because Gandhi said, you can chain my body to the ground, but you cannot chain down my spirit. Who you are, your soul, and who it belongs to, God. Neither one of those things can ever be controlled or taken. Unless you let it, it belongs to you. Your soul is yours. I feel like I would say right now that I'd like my grandparents to be here, arm in arm with me, so I can celebrate with them. But you know what? They're with me. We celebrate every day. My grandfather's passed away 31 years ago. I think about them every day. And I never stop learning from them. My dad gave me a gift from my grandfather 3 decades after he passed away. And you tell me there's no God. I'm a kid from little old Syracuse, New York, not New York City, in the middle of the state, in upstate New York, where it snows 5-6 months out of the year. And I've lived in a bunch of different states, reached people all over the country, all over the world. We've had over 4,000 people on Wake Up Call alone. We've interviewed actors, actresses, writers, illustrators, leaders of athletic departments, leaders of universities and colleges, student athletes, students, coaches, administration, politicians, business owners. I'm from little old Syracuse. I'm not from LA. I'm not from Orlando. I'm not from New York City. I'm not from Dallas. I'm not from Rome, Italy. I'm not from Paris, France. How did I get here? God, love, knowing who I am, and taking care of that kid. Nobody besides God loves me like I love me. I got me. And he's got me when I don't got me. None of this happens without God. None of this happens without adversity. None of this happens without teachable moments. None of it happens without knowledge and wisdom. None of it happens without blood, sweat, and tears, long hours, long drives, a lot of money spent. Not understanding, not knowing, trying to figure it out, troubleshooting. None of this happens without all of that. And the bonus is that going through all of this with God, that we could have done, him and I, because I believe in him above all, that he brought in all of these loved ones and said, no, we're going to do it with them too. They're going to help me love you up. So my 11-year anniversary for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, I'm not taking the credit. Because what got me here was not an ego. It wasn't that I felt I deserved something. I didn't take anything from anybody. I didn't steal. I didn't copy. I didn't plagiarize. I didn't lie. I didn't cheat. I didn't step on the heads of other people. I didn't slander. I didn't libel. I didn't try to ruin. I didn't go through the last 11 years with a sword. I went through it with a pen and paper. And when I didn't know the answer, I went to God. And when I thought I knew the answer, I went to God. And everywhere in between, I went to God. And sometimes I was right, and sometimes I was wrong, and sometimes I didn't know what to do. And sometimes I thought I knew what to do. But every time, I believe in God, and I'm Daniel Michael Justin Tortora, and I am not sorry for either one of those things. So how do we get to the next 11 years? By doing exactly what I've been doing. I'm not doing it for accolades, awards, pats on the back, notoriety, money, fame, or power. I'm doing it because I love it, and I'm doing it because it's my way of taking the talents God gave me and giving it back to Him a millionfold. I want Him to know that He didn't waste the gifts that He gave me. I want Him to know I won't leave this earth until I do every possible thing I possibly can do that I love, that I enjoy, that matters to me. And if He's not with me on it, I'm not doing it. Our 11-year anniversary is a beautiful thing. But the next 11 years are going to be even better. And I know that because God provides. And I know that because there is nobody else I would rather have in my corner besides God and myself. There is nobody that I want to love me more outside of God than loving myself. Because when you love yourself, you're going to be okay no matter what. When other people love you and you don't love yourself, no matter how many people love you and how much love you get, you're not okay. That's why I say I want to love myself more than any other human being or thing. Because no matter how much they love you, if you don't love you, you're in quicksand. But when you love you, you don't need them to love you. And you're running. You're not in quicksand. You're running toward something. Toward the kingdom of heaven. Toward God. Toward the life that you want. It took a long time for me to love me. I was loving everybody else. But it took a long time for me to love me. And I always did. But I always let this world get to me. And sometimes I still do. So my best advice to you: love with everything you have. Try with all your might. Consult God on everything. Live a life where you can sleep sweetly and not struggle to go to bed. Know that happiness is your choice, and it's not given to you. You cannot buy it. You cannot reserve it or rent it. It's yours to keep, and you have to choose it every day. You have to choose yourself every day. And you have to know the difference between loving something and thinking you love something, because if you love it, you will do everything that you can to make sure that whatever you love is taken care of. When you think you love it, you might do the bare minimum and hope that it all works out. And the first sign of strife, you'll run. Loving what you do versus thinking you love what you do. Loving who you're with versus thinking you love who you're with. If you have to talk yourself into loving someone, you don't love them. If you have to talk yourself into a job, you don't love the job. If you have to talk yourself into spending time with someone, you don't want to spend time with someone. You should not be telling yourself what to do. You should be celebrating your life. It's not easy. And sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. Take out the trash, mow the lawn. But you know what? When you start seeing life through positivity, I'm awake to take the trash out. I'm not dead. I'm awake to mow the lawn. When I mow the lawn, I get steps in. So that's less walking I have to do later. So I can utilize that. Wow, I'm so busy I haven't listened to music in 3 days. I can listen to music when I'm mowing the lawn. Wow, my yard looks good. That makes me feel proud. And that makes me excited to come home instead of looking at it going, wow, my lawn's the longest it has, my lawn is the tallest grass in the community. No. Find the positive, be who you are, love God, focus on God, talk to God, and consult God on everything. You may not hear a booming voice, but you will get a message if you listen. If you want to know how I got here, God, love, working hard, believing in myself, honing my talents, believing in my talents, and never, ever, ever letting any negative thing said about me, at me, or to me make me stop. If you want to get to where you want to get to in your life, you can get there. But you have to be you have to be willing to take the hits and get up and keep moving. You have to be willing to be vulnerable, to be honest, to tell the truth. Many people succeed without God. Well, they think without God. Many people succeed that don't believe in God. Many people succeed that are going for the wrong reasons. And that's fine. That's their life. I believe that true success comes from returning to heaven when we die, leaving a legacy of people that genuinely feel loved, seen, appreciated, and valued by you. And that you wake up every single day and you cannot wait, no matter how tired you are, no matter what's going on in your life, that you can't wait. If something is yearning inside of you, if there's a fire inside of you burning, begging for you to pay attention, begging for you to follow your dreams, then do it. Do it. If something inside of you is yearning for you to be there, to try, then try. Don't be afraid of failure. Because you truly do miss every shot you don't take. And you might miss 97 shots you take. When I graduated college, I applied to over 90 places. I got into 0 of them. Now I own my own business. And I've been a broadcaster for 19 plus years. And we just had our 11-year anniversary. And I've done more owning my business, credentialed to more places, made more money, had more opportunities than any of the places I worked at combined together. I have more badges with my name on it than any other company's name on it. But you know what? It's not about that. That's a reminder of hard work, dedication, and determination. But what it's about is every day winning the day. Every day, wake up. Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. Go to sleep. Thank you, God, for this day. May I wake up tomorrow morning. If I don't, may you accept me into your kingdom. May I return home to you. Every day, winning the day. Doing something good, having something positive, reflecting on your blessings, stopping for a second, parking in the car before you leave, and say, God, thank you for that meeting. That was a wonderful meeting. I had a great time, and I got more out of it than I thought I was going to get out of it, and I was already excited to do it. Thank you for that. Learn lessons, live life to the fullest, celebrate, be happy, be proud, know the difference between confidence and cockiness, and understand that, yes, people will succeed. They will look successful doing things differently than you. But who cares? Because your life, your story is about you doing the best you can. And I promise you that if God brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. And there's nothing that's too big, even when it looks too big. And I'm telling you that at 37 years old, where I thought that millions of things were going to suffocate me. And none of them did. God is my answer to every question. Loving what I do and doing what I love is the only way for me to live my life. And I've been that way since I was a kid. And whatever I truly feel is a dream that I want to attain, just like the one that I attain every day, I will talk with God. And if that's what we want, then that's what we'll get. I'm proud of 11 years. But I'm even more ecstatic for the next 11, the next 20, the next 50. I can't wait to see what God will bless me with next and bless you with next. I can't wait for the next opportunity to go after something that I really, really want. I can't wait for the next door to open, for the next thing that I've been working on to work. I cannot wait to see what I'm going to do next. I can't, because I love waking up every day with a clean canvas and a paintbrush and every color I can think of. Thank you all for watching and listening. Thank you all for your love. Thank you all for your positivity and your kindness. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Thank you to all the haters, because you keep making me strong. Stronger and stronger. We're so proud to be here with you every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and wakeupcalldt.podbean.com once we go live. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, MixLR, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn, Podbean, Player FM, Podvine, Podchaser, Boomplay. So many different ways to connect with the show. I appreciate however you do it. Download us, save us, and follow us so you never miss a live show again, and so that we know that we're connected with you, because that's important to me to be able to see that connection and grow that with you. So if you're a fan of the show, whether you're new to the show or you've been with us for years, we welcome everybody in. We welcome differences of opinion, and we ask you to justify your opinion and respect. That's it. We can disagree as long as we justify our opinions and we respect one another. And let's have some fun. Big time thanks to Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, 317 at Montgomery Street, GG Cards and Brakes, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Great Lakes Honda City, PB&J's Lunchbox, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Pizza Man, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Mother's Cupboard, Chick-fil-A Watertown, and of course we are proud to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call, bringing you stories with your Dolphins every first and third Wednesday at 9 a.m. of each month. AD and DT with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, the Dolphin Dive, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni throughout the year. the Dolphins here with you on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. with AD and DT and Dolphin Dive, trading off throughout each month. Dolphin content every single week. More coverage of the Lemoyne Dolphins consistently than ever before in their history. And of course, you could find our archive on the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are proud exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, bringing you the Bobcat buzz with a spotlight on the Bobcats larger than ever before. We get to celebrate the Bobcats with you, and I am so excited to always get to do this all throughout each month. Student athletes, coaches, and administration. We have two awesome specials that are not only first with my partnership with the Bobcats, but first with any company I've ever worked with, and first of 19 plus years as a broadcaster. We have never done the videos that you're going to see this week until we did it with the Bobcats, and we'll be showcasing them this week of July 24th. Stay tuned for new Bobcat Buzz episodes, bringing you something we've never brought you before on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can check out the Bobcats in our ever-growing library on the BSC Syracuse tab on wakeupcalldt.com by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And for more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And as always, go Bobcats. The Alfred University Saxons are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. This is our first month working with Alfred University, and we've already been able to tell incredible stories and wonderful pieces that we've been able to showcase with you because of the amazing people that are out at Alfred University. They make it such a wonderful place. I am so excited, honored, privileged, and thankful that they have agreed to give me the opportunity to be their exclusive multimedia marketing partner. Alfred University coming to you on Mondays on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora exclusively, Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, first and third Monday of each month, with the Presidential Perspective featuring Mark Zupan, the president of Alfred University, sharing stories all throughout each month, all throughout the year, and telling us really so many unique and very purposeful and amazing things that Alfred University does, their alumni, and all that is to come. The Saxon Spotlight airing every second and fourth Monday of each month at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call, breaking into the stories of, showcasing student athletes as well as coaches and administration. The Saxon Spotlight coming to you this Monday with Bob Rankle, the first head coach to ever be featured on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Alfred University. So we have more history being made this Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out our growing archive with Alfred University on the Alfred U tab on wakeupcalldt.com by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. And for more information, go to gosaxons.com. And as always, go Saxons.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, the place where my hobby continues to grow, blossom, and evolve. I've never done box breaks on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in the history of the show. And with GG Cards and Breaks, we've already done a couple here in our first month of working together. Not even a full month, a full 4 weeks that we've been working with GG Cards and Breaks, and we've already been to one of their trade nights, and we've done 2 box breaks. We're about to do another one. Actually, no, I've done 3 box breaks, pardon me. So we've had a ton of fun and a lot of success in spreading this wonderful hobby to you so you can make new memories at 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Our exclusive broadcast with GG Cards and Breaks as part of our partnership is entitled Same Hobby, New Memories. That inaugural episode with GG Cards and Breaks will air exclusively on Wake Up Call this coming week of July 24th. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you go out to GG Cards and Breaks for singles as well as packs, boxes, and all of your teams in the NFL, MLB, and NBA. They're all there for you to look through, which is incredible. And of course, they have graded cards as well. You can buy, sell, trade, come out to the trade nights, of course, and enjoy all that GG Cards and Breaks is Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, I want to thank you for being a part of this show. I want to thank Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. I want to thank Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding for the top dog of the week. God bless you, Tony Bennett, in heaven, and to all your loved ones in heaven and on earth. May you be connected. May we all be connected to our loved ones that have passed on and our loved ones that are here on earth, because dying you destroyed our death and rising you restored our life. Jesus Christ. Thank you for that. And of course, celebrating our 11-year anniversary. Find us on Facebook. We've added a ton of new stuff to our social media. You don't want to miss it. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT. Twitter, there's polls up about Shohei Ohtani. We put them up yesterday, got a ton of votes. Keep voting throughout the next 6 days at Call DT on Twitter. That's CALLDT. Instagram, we're always putting something on the story, always trying to inspire, bring you some positivity, and to help you move in a good direction where you're taking care of yourself and your health at wakeupcall_DT. God bless. No stress. Do your best. This week's going to be a little bit different, so it won't be a typical 9 to 11 a.m. broadcast. We're going to be broadcasting specials because I will be in Dallas, Arlington for the American Athletic Conference Football Media Days. And then I will be going to Charlotte for the ACC's kickoff for their Football Media Days. So throughout this upcoming week, July 24th to the 28th, we will be airing specials that I have been building and putting together. So you will have something to enjoy. And I'll also be covering the American Athletic Conference and the ACC live on site. So you don't want to miss the opportunities that I'll be having in my travels, and you don't want to miss all the specials that are coming up. There is so much coming up this week, and it's fitting because it starts off on my mom's birthday of July 24th. God bless you, Mom, and happy early 22nd birthday. I love you. God bless, no stress, do your best. Thank you to my parents for celebrating my 11 years. Thank you to all of you that have celebrated with me and all the wonderful messages you sent in. I can't believe all the things we've gotten, and I appreciate it. God bless you. Have a great day, and I'll talk with you soon.